member for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't think any of us here denigrate any law enforcement officer. You put your life on the line every day, but in every occupation, there are standards that you have to adhere to, and you follow them, fine. If you don't, the system addresses whatever that fault is. But I think part of what a lot of us are concerned about is, for instance, Officer Hodge, you recently wrote about the dangers of sending federal law enforcement into American communities wearing masks to hide their identity, wearing no insignia, badges, or name tapes, and driving unmarked cars. You pointed out that the public and other law enforcement officers have no way of knowing that these mystery agents are legally sworn law enforcement officers. Can you please elaborate on why this practice is so dangerous to the public as well as to federal law enforcement officers?
Certainly. I think it's obvious that if masked, armed individuals hop out of a nondescript vehicle and attempt to force someone against their will into the vehicle, that looks to anyone like a kidnapping. And as a law enforcement who sees that, I would treat it as a kidnapping until they were able to prove that they had the lawful authority to conduct that detention. It doesn't take much imagination to see how that could get very bad very quickly. And aside from that, it just erodes, or more than erodes, it destroys trust in between the community and law enforcement, which is paramount. We need the community on our side in order to successfully conduct our mission, in order to make headway in so many investigations, because we're not everywhere. We rely on the community to help us, and they rely on us to protect them. So these terrible practices of incognito officers just doing whatever they feel like. When the president went on the television and said, police officers can do whatever they want now. It's that kind of rhetoric that really just destroys what the institution of law enforcement is supposed to stand for. So yeah, we need to do something different about this.
Well, thank you. A lot of us were in the Capitol on January 6th, and we saw firsthand what happened. Most of us did not fathom the United States Capitol being overrun by anybody. On that day, over 140 federal law enforcement officers were hurt. Unfortunately, several succumbed to some of their injuries later. Tell me your opinion that people who either pled guilty on assaulting law enforcement officers or were found guilty, how do you as a sworn law enforcement officer feel when those individuals get pardoned?
Pardoning people who attempted to stop the transfer of power, who assaulted my colleagues and I, it just emboldens them to feel that they can do it again, to feel that they can attack the police again, to feel that they can act as the president's personal militia. And that's not just conjecture, that's something that actually one of them tried to do. One of them was trying to restart the Oath Keepers and said that we can serve as the president's militia. So there were no lessons learned from so many of them. They're ready to conduct violence again, political violence, violence against police. And I just don't want to see that happen ever again.
Thank you. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. I now represent the gentleman from Mississippi, Mr. Guest, for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To our witnesses, thank you for being here today. Thank